Happy Monday. I am Lauren Conlin. I have missed you all. Welcome back to a fun live stream. I hope this will be fun this morning. Again, it's been a crazy few weeks. My kids finally have their first full week of school, I should say. I am so happy, literally so happy. So they started a new school and their first day was last Thursday. And so I didn't, that the crime con timing was not great. I didn't really want to miss their first 2 days at a new school. So I hung back. I didn't go to crime con and I really, really missed out. Oh my gosh. But I'm so happy to see everybody in the chat. This is so fun. Hey, Dizzy, of course. Dizzy, my savior. Sheila, good to see you. Sal, Forrest, hi. Forrest was like my first member. He's so awesome. Maytal, I hope you're taking a nice morning walk and I hope the weather is amazing. Oasis, oh my gosh. I'm so happy Oasis is here because Oasis Cat did like the nicest post for my birthday, like nicer than any family members or anybody. I was like so moved by the compilation that you did on Twitter. That was so awesome. Who else is here? Afton, good to see you. Carrie, Asha, DR, Chris, G, Andy, you guys are awesome. Les, good to see you. So kids are back in school and I've been a little bit distracted with another project that I'm working on. So just to give you guys, before we get started, a little bit of an insight into some things that I'm working on. Yes, I loved the video. So I'm a freelancer. Obviously you guys have seen me report on certain things, trials, and obviously I have a podcast, but I also do just some development into, I guess, different cases where certain companies have a vision that these cases could be turned into a documentary. So I've worked on a couple projects in the past, and unfortunately, they have not been sold anywhere, which is too bad. But I really enjoy working on these types of projects because it allows me to do a deep dive into cases, and someone pays me for it, which is great. But Derek, it's so good to see you. So I'm working on this one case, but it's not what it seems, I guess. It's not one case in particular. It's a couple cases that have a lot of commonalities. So what I'm going to do, because I feel like it's so interesting, I've been working on that, but I'm also working on turning that into a standalone podcast for everyone to listen to and to sort of dive into, like I've been doing. It's going to be audio only for the most part, but I think what I'm going to do is after episodes drop, we'll do some kind of live stream after on Pop Crime because it's crazy. And I just got to tell you guys, like in this case, it's Brooklyn. And some of you may have heard of what I'm about to say, but I'm stuttering about this because there's no easy way to like throw all of this out there, that the cases, but basically 3 young men drown in Brooklyn after leaving a nightclub. And 2 of the men that drowned, they left the same nightclub, the Brooklyn Mirage. Another young man that drowned, he left a club called the Knockaround Center, which is 5 minutes away from the Mirage. And this all happened within, a year. And the Mirage, the Brooklyn Mirage, there was also a kidnapping that occurred there the same summer that these 2 men drowned. And then this past summer, there was a really well-known DJ that left a club in Harlem. He went missing, and his body was actually found on a houseboat that was docked on the same creek, which is the Newtown Creek in Brooklyn. So it's really weird. There's a lot of strange things that kind of occurred when researching this case. And the interesting thing about this as well, and also I've connected with some family members, and one of the family members that I've spoken to specifically, the young man named Damani Alexander, who he's the most recent young man that drowned in 2024. She doesn't believe that he drowned. And also his death has been ruled undetermined. So, yeah, she's like, something's going on. I don't know what, but I need your help. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she's very sweet, but you can tell she is desperate. And I had FOIA requested the like all three of these cases, looking into the young men, they're all closed, right? So I FOIA requested the investigations, and the NYPD got back to me. By the way, I requested these in July. This is so insane. They got back to me and said that I will get answers by January of 2026. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So, oh yeah. And then when I requested the autopsy reports, they just flat out told me no. I needed a next of kin. I'd have to go through like a notary. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll work on that at least, you know? So, yeah, it's crazy. So this is, yes, Dizzy has the original episode that I did, which is very, very top level. I did this episode last summer because I was intrigued, and there's more to this story as well, guys. There's more. The Mirage, you know, it never opened this past year, and they put a lot of money into the Mirage. They redid it, and the owner and the Mirage itself has connections to Eric Adams, who, let's just, you know, go back and remember when he was indicted this past year and all of the corruption that they had accused him of, and also his commissioner, Edward Caban, and his brother, they were also indicted and they had to resign. So the Mirage, by the way, also used Eric Adams's chief of staff, Frank Carone, as their attorney. And if you look it up, there are rumors that they got their liquor license in a really sketchy way. And also, I mean, this is not proven. Like I don't have I don't have facts to back this up. But when I was kind of looking around on Reddit, there was a few posts on Reddit that said clubs like the Mirage and you know, Knockaround Center, they have their own private ambulances that are not, you know, connected to the city at all, so they can sort of cover up any type of OD, assault, anything that happens, because, you know, it's not a great look when this is reported, and obviously when the city would have to get involved, so they kind of hide this stuff. Again, I don't have proof of that yet, but it sounded plausible. So there's a lot that I'm trying to put together here. So I should have a trailer to the show to put out this week, and hopefully the first couple of episodes will be released very soon next week. So yeah, so it's crazy. But if you want to just take a little bit of a soft dive, you can go ahead, and Dizzy pinned that episode. And I guess maybe I know you can't. Can you do? Is that a link? I don't know if you guys can actually click it. But anyway, hey Gary, yeah, Chris, totally. It is dirty money. I'm almost certain, and I haven't even gotten into all of the research I've done so far. But yeah, it's very, very interesting, and I hope that I can uncover what I think is going on, and also, I'm not even trying to tote a conspiracy that there's like a serial killer in Brooklyn. I mean, obviously, no cop wants to entertain the fact that there could be a serial killer. That's, you know, a whole other thing. But I mean, any article you find about these drownings, I mean, I'm looking at a Pix 11 article. The last paragraph in the Pix 11 article is, quote, a spokesperson for the NYPD told Pix 11 News that both Castic and Clemente's cases are closed. Those are two other men that drowned, but refused to answer any of Pix 11's additional questions about the nature of the deaths and the investigations. So it is weird. They just don't really want to talk about it. So Okay, great. Thank you for confirming. That link does work. Awesome. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and I think that you guys are going to find it hopefully really interesting, and I can just peel back some layers here, because either way, going back to the whole, like, if it's not a serial killer, which who knows? I don't even, I'm not saying that it was, but it just seems like these men died and then were placed in the river somehow. But I don't know. Again, I don't know enough. So yeah, Sherry, good to see you. And Gary, don't worry, you haven't caught a live stream because there hasn't really been any. But anyway, sorry, that was very confusing. I know that I was sort of being a little bit standoffish on that case, but there's just a lot. So anyway, let's first get into Cardi B, because I want to go over some of her trial. Really, it brought me a lot of joy. I know that's horrible. I'm sorry for Imani Ellis if she really is hurt by whatever happened to her, but I had doubts from the start. But anyway, I want to go over some of these really great moments from Cardi B's trial really quick, because it had me on the floor. But at 10:30, I've got Nicole Angemi from Mother Knows Death, who is a forensic pathology assistant. She's done a million autopsies. She's going to come on and talk about the Snelling baby autopsy. So we'll get into the Laken Snelling case around 10:30, and just the fact that more information is needed about what happened to this poor baby, this poor infant. And I've got some questions about that case, but yeah, we'll get into it. So let's go to Cardi B right now. So I put together a little video last week. I'm not going to play my narration. I want to get right into her moments on the stand, because I felt like, she was so honest. She was so just untrained. I mean, so untrained. And then, after she was on the stand and she was kind of in court, like, you just knew she did not want to be there. I mean, she said it. She was like, I'm missing my kid's first day of school for this. But you could tell just by listening to some of these experts and also listening to the witnesses that, I mean, again, I had doubts from the start. The fact that Cardi B's doctor and the receptionist were just like, no, we didn't see anything. We literally saw Ellis actually kind of scratch the receptionist who got in between them. And I was like, wait, what? Like, it's so silly. And then the fact that, Ellis, her own doctor, came out and kind of just gave this report. And he just said, she told me she had experienced trauma, distress, all this stuff. He's like, I didn't diagnose her with that stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking like, well, why are you a security guard if a simple little scuffle with somebody is going to traumatize you? I mean, I just I would pick a different profession. I'm not saying that wouldn't be traumatizing if you get in a fight. I'm just saying if your profession is a security guard, then I mean, have thicker skin, right? Like, that's so crazy. Literally have thicker skin. She also seemed to get the most expensive microneedling I have ever heard of in my life. The fact that insane. She was asking Cardi B for 24 million. It's insane. So her injury, Sheila, it was her cheek, I guess. And the funny thing was, during the closing argument, or closing statement, Cardi B's lawyer actually said she didn't even use a Band-Aid. She didn't go to the doctor. She went home and took a nap. And Cardi B started laughing. I mean, it was interesting, but again, the jury got it right. This did not make any sense at all. And I was so surprised. I mean, Ellis, this is pretty bad for her. She's going to be in some crazy financial ruins over taking Cardi B to court. If you guys heard her doctor on the stand, that plastic surgeon. Oh, sorry, Sheila, you were being sarcastic. Sorry, you didn't actually want to know her injury. Sorry. Yeah. So her her plastic surgeon on the stand cost upwards of $2,000 an hour to testify. So, yeah. And she claims she spent about, I think, $20,000 in plastic surgery or something like that. Yeah, that's crazy to me. I just was kind of looking at her like this doesn't really make sense. But yeah, let me go to my video where I play her her best moments that I thought were her best moments. Maybe you guys will feel differently, but these are my favorites. So let's play this just because I think it'll be fun on a Monday morning. Let's share this tab instead. And like I said, I skipped through all of my commentary, but I did call it. I was like, I think the jury is gonna side with Cardi B on this for a number of reasons. Okay. Her on the stand where I forgot I was watching a trial.
During that fight, didn't you?
Yes.
What other words did you use? Tell us in your own words what you said.
So good.
I said, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. Why are you in my face? Why are you recording me? Ain't you supposed to be security?
Tell it to her now. Go ahead.
Huh?
Say it again. Say
Objection, Your Honor.
You want me to say it to her
I want
face?
you to tell it to her face what you said on that day so she can hear it for
The
herself.
objection is sustained.
And, Your Honor, can we have civility in the
Yeah.
courthouse?
Why don't we just take the temperature down a little bit? If you have factual questions to ask her, please do so. It's not the time to argue with her.
You used the F word during.
The 32-year-old.
I don't think I was.
Wait, and sorry. I mean, can you imagine that? Say it to her right now. Like, what attorney would do that? What are you even doing? Like, he knew better, right? Or tell me he wasn't that dumb. I hope he wasn't that dumb.
Like on a high level of angry, I was more on a high level of concern. Very concerned.
And why were you concerned?
Because I'm pregnant and this girl's about to fucking beat my ass. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. I'm here.
I don't think.
Did you look at Miss Imani Ellis's face when you were arguing with her at the time of the incident?
I was looking at her face, but I wasn't looking like. She got a pimple on her face? No, I wasn't looking at her details or anything.
Are you disabled? Yes or no?
At that moment, when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you the things I can't do?
Fine. What was your disability on February 24th of 2018? What was your disability?
I was pregnant. I couldn't protect myself, even if I wanted to.
Yes,
She's like
MJ.
twice my size.
No problem. Are you disabled? Yes or no? You said she's bigger than you. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
I mean, look.
Sorry, that was so good.
I don't agree with that. What is your basis? Are you saying she's physically bigger? She's taller?
I mean, you have her medical records,
I don't
right?
have anything. I'm asking you the question.
I mean, I was 130 pounds at that time.
So she's overweight, right? In your opinion.
Objection, Your Honor.
It's sustained.
Just a little.
You don't need to answer me.
Okay. Did you make fun of her that she
That
was
was my
overweight
favorite.
when you were there in the hallway?
I don't think so.
Did you call her fat?
No, I was calling her a bitch.
Bitch?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, I have to just go back really quick to my favorite part. Oh my gosh, when hold on, her face here, it's so good.
Oh,
You don't need to answer me.
This part.
I'm asking you the question.
I mean, I was 130 pounds at that time.
So she's overweight, right? In your opinion.
Hold on, her face. I can't. You guys, look at her face. She literally kills me. That was probably my favorite part. Oh my gosh, just her eyes looking up like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, that was so good, so good. I'll just play the rest of it. There's like 10 seconds again. It's too good.
Objection, Your Honor.
It's sustained.
Just a little.
You don't need to answer me.
Okay. Did you make fun of her that she was overweight when you were there in the hallway?
I don't think so.
Did you call her fat?
No, I was calling her a bitch.
Sorry. Okay. All right. And that was my favorite part too. When he's like, did you call her fat? No, I was calling her a bitch. Sorry. Yes, let me play part of her presser after as well. But her faces were just so funny and just so real. And if you've seen her her videos since then, she actually, I don't know why, I kind of had a question about this. I was asking myself. She made CD covers. I didn't think CDs were still a thing, but she's like, buy these CD covers with my, the faces that I made in court. And she's like, I'm a single mom. If you don't buy these, I'll have to give up my Lamborghini. And she was just funny. She was, making fun of herself and stuff. But yeah, I didn't know that CDs were necessarily a thing anymore. Let me go to my shorts because I put her presser, or I'm sorry, part of her presser here. Let me go back and add. Yeah, half my shorts right now are Cardi B. It's so funny. Can't tell you how much I enjoyed that.
I did not touch that woman. I know I got a little reputation, but I swear to God, I'm innocent. Like I'm really innocent for real. I do also want fans at home though, not to find their social media, her family's social media, her social media, and bother her. Don't be talking about her. Don't be talking about how she look. Don't call her no nasty names. Let's just put this behind. But I'm giving a warning. I am not that celeb that you're going to sue and you think it's going to settle. I'm not going to settle. The next person that try to do a frivolous lawsuit against me, I'm going to countersue. And I'm going to make you pay. It's been late nights and early 5:30 in the morning. I got to get up 5:30 so I can look like this for y'all. When I say that my forehead is raw from changing all these wigs, raw. Thank you guys for thank you guys.
Yeah, that was great. And I mean, it kind of reminds me right now of Fat Joe, who, countersued the hype man, what's his face, Terrence Dixon. So that, I think that is the way to go if you are a celebrity. And again, I think somebody in the chat said this, civil lawsuits are all the rage right now. They're the thing. So if you are a celebrity and somebody's coming after you for a lot of money and it feels like it's a frivolous lawsuit, you should definitely countersue. But hopefully, people are taking Imani Ellis as a lesson. Again, think of how much money she had to spend. I mean, that's a lot of money. And she was asking for a lot. She was asking for $24 million. So crazy. But yes, Cardi B, that was the civil trial that we all did not know that we needed. I mean, we needed it, you guys. It was very similar for me, Gwyneth Paltrow, that whole trial. That was very, very entertaining to me because they're light. Nobody was killed. Nobody was really hurt. And I think, again, we all need those sometimes. So let's switch over to Laken Snelling because Nicole Angemi is going to join us in just a few minutes. And I really did. I tried to say Laken Snelling. It's so hard if you're just saying it, just kind of like as you're speaking. It's definitely a weird name to say. Let me just change my banner. So there's been a lot of speculation around Laken Snelling's case. And, when I say speculation, number one, the photo that is circulating. Actually, you know what? Let's start from the beginning because you may all not be aware of the Laken Snelling case. So Laken is, she was a student at the University of Kentucky, and back in August. Now, and again, I don't know. I'm not actually sure how police were called to her house in the first place. I don't know if she called the cops on herself. I don't know if any of you guys are aware of that. But this baby was born on August 27th in Lexington, Kentucky. And the baby was found wrapped in a towel, deceased, in a garbage bag in a closet. And Laken Snelling was subsequently arrested. And she was arrested on one count of concealing the birth of an infant, one count of tampering with physical evidence, and one count of abuse of a corpse. Now, when they did the baby's, okay, the roommate called. Okay, so where I literally was like, this is crazy. How did the roommate's dog found the baby? Okay, because I have the police report and it didn't say that. So I was like, where did you find that? That's crazy. So yes, she was on the University of Kentucky quote unquote stunt team, which kind of looks like a cheerleading team, but they do oh, there's Nicole. Yay. They add different stunts and whatever. Hey, Nicole.
I'm not on camera, am I?
Oh, you are actually here. Do you want to just no, you
It's fine, whatever. I'm just like in my pajamas right now, so
no, we totally understand. I know you, Nicole, like she just literally probably got off the plane from CrimeCon. Honestly, your pictures looked amazing. I was so jealous, and
I know we really missed having you there. It would have been awesome because you feel like part of your crew's not there.
I know, and you guys all took so many pictures, and like Tom, Tom from Gold Shields, he is the best, and yes, she is gorgeous. I know, regardless.
Oh God.
No, you really are. So no, Tom, love him from Gold Shields. He is so funny because I had such FOMO. He's sending me so many pictures of all of you guys, and I was like, I love you, but this is actually making me feel worse. I'm like, I love you so much for missing me, but yeah, I feel totally worse. So I was just going over, just the facts of what we know with Laken Snelling. And so I guess, yes, I did not realize this. The roommate's dog found the infant in the closet, and, she was subsequently charged. Now, certain things I feel like are rumors, and I'm not certain. Look, like that picture going around of her on the stunt team with the belly, and I can show that picture in a minute. I mean, I didn't get that picture firsthand. I saw it floating on the internet. So for me, I'm like, I think this is valid, but I have not substantiated that as real, as well as people saying, none of her family and friends knew about it. I don't think any of her family and friends have come out right and said, we did not know. What I've seen is people coming out that she went to high school with, talking to Daily Mail, saying that she was a bully and a mean girl. I mean, I don't know what that necessarily has to do with this, but again, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor. Like me, I don't know. The bullies, they have no right. Who knows? Whatever. And then I saw that the police went and got DNA from her ex-boyfriend to see if he was the father. There was no information about whether or not he knew, if he was sort of in on her disposing of the baby. I mean, I don't know. And again, Carrie, this is correct. How is she doing stunts and being pregnant? That's a little dangerous. And reports, we're going with the whole, obviously, it's the United States, innocent until proven guilty. So a lot of the reports are like, it's unclear if she even knew she was pregnant. Okay, well, she wasn't very overweight, Nicole. I've obviously seen that show on TLC, right? I didn't know I was pregnant, but it's mainly like very overweight people that don't know, in my experience. And obviously I've just watched a TLC show, but she was a very fit person. I feel like one would know, but okay, this is interesting. Yeah. So ex-boyfriend didn't know, and neither did the new boyfriend about her pregnancy. But now that, the autopsy of the infant came back undetermined, let's say, or incomplete, I mean, we don't really know what happened. Could the infant have been a stillborn? Does there have to be trauma, I guess, to an infant's body to determine whether or not Laken herself may have done something to the infant? Like, I don't quite understand that.
Well, typically when you find, I guess you're saying the dog found it, right? But I don't know what you found in your reporting, but it looks like she gave birth on the same exact day that they found.
Yes, the 27th.
Okay,
yes.
So there's not going to be that much decomposition in one day.
Right.
So that really has to be taken into account when you examine the body, and I'll tell you why. Because you want to be
Okay.
able to see if this baby was born dead, so that would be a stillbirth is considered anything after 20 weeks of pregnancy. So a stillbirth is a miscarriage, but it's just called a stillbirth after 20 weeks.
Okay.
And
Right. Okay.
so then you have to take into consideration viability. So when a baby is born at 20, they would say like 23 to 24 weeks, it's capable
Mhm.
of living outside of the wound versus not.
Right.
So let's say she was 18 weeks. Even if she gave birth at home, that baby would have never had a chance to
Right.
survive.
Right.
So the fact that cops are calling it an infant means that it's definitely after 23 to 24 weeks, because then they know that the baby had a chance to live. So
Did you see this? She was 38 weeks. Just I'm pinning that. Yeah.
I saw it, but I didn't see it confirmed by. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on X.
Yeah.
I've also seen that what you were talking about is that she did have this ex-boyfriend that she ghosted apparently back in April, and he hasn't talked to her at all. And now she had a new boyfriend. He apparently didn't know, although did you see the photo shoot going around?
But that's what I was saying. Have those photos been substantiated? Like, I posted those photos on my Twitter, but I said, I did not get these directly from the source. I'm sharing these like everybody else, but there's totally a chance that they could be fabricated, these photos, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. But also that's what got me, where it's like, if these photos are real and she had a boyfriend that's like, I didn't know, to be like Cardi B, it's like, I don't understand. What are you looking at? What are you not seeing here?
Well, I mean, if he started dating her when she was, I don't know how long they've been dating, but maybe she was already showing at that point. He didn't know, like, if he was having sex with her and looking at her naked, he never saw her like perfectly fit, flat belly. And people just are, we know, like I said this when we did our podcast live at CrimeCon, and I was just like, exactly what you said. There's a whole entire TV show dedicated to, I didn't know I was pregnant. So in this case, the same exact thing could have happened. She also could have known, because if she is in this stunt cheerleading, they never ever would have let her compete being pregnant at the school.
Right.
So
but
if she thought that was going to like affect her chances of being able to compete, she might have just not said anything because of that.
I mean, did they think she had a big breakfast that morning? I am so bothered by this. Okay, but so I guess what I'm trying to figure out here, Nicole, is the autopsy on the infant. I mean, could even if there's no signs of trauma, she still, I think Dizzy had pinned this, like, what was it? Why didn't they test the baby's lungs?
That's what they're waiting for. They look for signs of external trauma, which would be typical, like strangulation or just like blunt trauma. I hate talking about this because it's disturbing, but like blunt trauma, like crushing the baby's skull with something, or something that they would be able to be like, okay, this baby was intentionally hurt. The problem is if you put a live baby wrap it up in a towel and put it in a bag, it could die from asphyxia, and you're not really going to see a whole lot with that at autopsy. So what they do is that they're going to do the external exam and see, and also if the placenta was there, that would be awesome, because they could tell if the baby had a natural death and was stillborn, like if there was placental abruption, or when there's like a large blood clot that occurs behind the placenta, or if the baby had a nuchal cord, which is when it's wrapped around its neck, or something that could have been, or like an infection with the placenta, chorioamnionitis, that would show if it had a natural death. So that's going to be like a really important part of the autopsy as well. And then when they do the internal exam, if the baby had taken a breath, this is just like,
oh, that's so funny. Carrie just said that. Can they tell? They can tell if the baby took a breath or not. Yeah,
they can, but it's not like an exact science. So it all has to go with the investigation too, because when a baby starts decomposing, all of these gases form, which could give like an artifact of air when in fact there's not. So, but in this case, it's good because the baby shouldn't really be that decomposed within one day, like
Right.
barely at all, right? So they're going to look at the lungs. They look different physically, and actually it's kind of cool. If you cut them out, they will float in water if they're filled with air. So
Baby lungs
yeah,
will?
yeah. So they could check for air in the GI tract too, and then they'll look at, so when they say it's undetermined, it's like right now they didn't see anything that was a smoking gun per se. So what they'll do is they'll look at the lungs under the microscope, and then there's changes within the air sacs of the lungs as well as seeing the air under the microscope. So that just takes a couple days, and I'm sure they're doing toxicology and all that stuff too.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So it should probably be a few more days before the rest of these tests come back. And then they should be able to reveal and release a cause of death, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
At least they'll be able to tell if, they'll definitely, so let's go over another thing too, because they'll be able
Yeah.
to tell how far along she was exactly.
Mhm.
So there's different things on the external exam we do, and they do this on live babies too. Like they measure the head circumference, and they measure the distance between the head and the butt, and then the head and the heel, and the abdomen circumference and the chest circumference. And those things, along with doing x-rays of the baby as well, could tell, because they could check certain bones become like what we
Yeah.
call ossified, or when a fetus is growing, they're kind of like cartilage, and as they get older, their bones start to become what we think of as bones. And you
Yeah.
could tell from x-rays how old a baby is, and give a very like specific, okay, it's like between these 2 weeks or something like that. So they'll determine how far along she was, and they'll be able to get that from information from her too. When did you stop getting your period? If she admits to
Yeah.
any of that stuff.
I guess I'm just thinking, so if they determine that the baby came out as stillborn, they would probably, well, I guess it would still be abuse of a corpse because she wrapped the baby. Yeah.
I feel like they should like leave her alone if that's the case. I mean, like
Yeah. I mean, only because we don't actually know what happened. We don't know, right? Like we don't know anything right now. We're just assuming that she covered up her pregnancy. This is what I'm assuming without knowing the details, and I'm clearly not giving her the benefit of the doubt at all. I'm assuming she knew she was pregnant. She gave birth, she covered it up, and she just, but I don't know. Like, wouldn't the baby be crying? I don't know. Like, we don't know anything about from the roommate. Like, was the baby crying? A baby comes out crying if the baby is healthy and everything is, whatever. We don't know any of that. Or did she just immediately wrap it in this towel, suffocate it, throw it in the, I don't know.
Well, one of the things that I read on X, and again, this is not,
yeah,
but listen, like you have to take this, like independent reporters are getting a hold of people way before things are reported
right
on the news. So they said that number one, the ex-boyfriend was DNA tested and it was him, and they were able to give the remains to him. I don't know if this is true. This is just what I read, which is interesting. And also that she had given birth to the baby, and she had said that the baby was blue when it came out, but it didn't seem like it was breathing, but it was making some kind of like whimpering noises. And like, listen, this is totally possible, because if you give birth at home, things like this could happen, especially when you have no idea what you're doing. And it could just be something as simple as the mouth needs to get cleared out. Another thing that they'll look for too, I should have mentioned, is like when we were talking about pathology with the placenta, is like there could be a heart defect or something too that would cause the baby to come out blue. Like there's just all sorts of different things. And it just goes like autopsy with investigation to really be able to determine what happened here.
Right. And I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. I know some people do this, but the people that maybe, and I don't really know anyone that does this now. I guess they go, maybe not a doctor, but they go to like a doula or whoever, a holistic person, if they don't want to get ultrasounds or whatever, and they don't want to go to the doctor. I mean, I don't know how one would do that, but I've heard that is a choice. But to me, that's so bad, because like you said, who knows what's going on? And when you can, if the umbilical cord is wrapped around the neck, you have a way to, to hopefully to fix this. If you can't tell if you don't know. So I just feel like she should be charged regardless, even if the infant death was a stillborn. I mean, I just feel like you got to be charged with something. This is really, really irresponsible behavior, horrible behavior. I mean, I don't know. So
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't think we should leave her alone. If it was, I really don't. I just feel like she could have done something about this. And if you got pregnant, you know, it's a selfish move if you don't take care of yourself and all you want to do is your stupid stunt shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so bothered by this.
It's just, I don't know. It's a conversation to have because I have had a couple cases over the past couple years where a woman might have a miscarriage at like 23 or 24 weeks and she has it at her apartment, throws it in the trash, and she gets charged with stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like, just hear me out.
Yeah.
If you go to the hospital, so you have a miscarriage, you go to the hospital, which I always say people should, because you could still have retained fetal parts or placenta inside you that can become infected. So you should always just go get checked out if you ever have a miscarriage at home.
Yep.
And you really should bring in the fetal remains, because if you do want to get pregnant again, we could do genetic testing on it to see what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you bring the fetal remains to the hospital, all we're going to do is look at it and throw it in the trash too. So like,
okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying.
We're not doing I mean, now this is obviously, there's a distinction because like in Pennsylvania, and every state has different laws, and I don't know what Kentucky's are because I'm writing about it today. I just haven't looked it up yet. But like in Pennsylvania, if a woman gives birth to a baby after 16 weeks, it's considered a human infant, and they get a birth certificate. Yeah, a birth certificate and a death certificate, and they would have to go to the morgue. Whereas before 16 weeks, it would go to surgical pathology. Again, we would just look at it and throw it in not the trash per se, but we incinerate it with the medical waste.
Right.
Whereas over 16 weeks, like, it needs to go to the funeral home and it's considered a human. But in New Jersey, it's like, I think it was like 22 weeks or something. The laws are different from state to state. So, but like if she was 38 weeks, like that's a full-term infant, and that would, if the baby did take a breath, would get a birth certificate as well as a death certificate.
Okay. That's what it is. It's the death certificate, the birth certificate, just, okay. Right. And I guess I wasn't aware. I mean, I always thought it was like 20 weeks or maybe even 18 weeks is, you said 20 weeks is when let's say you have it would be considered a stillborn, right? So you'd have to give birth that way. And okay. Got it. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay sharing my story, my experience. But when I was like, I think I was 29, I had a miscarriage, and I feel like I should have sued this doctor. This is so crazy, Nicole, and just everybody, just as a lesson to everybody. But so I was almost 13 weeks pregnant, and I went in and there was no heartbeat. And I, obviously I didn't know what I was doing. And I was, you have that shameful feeling and you're just very upset. So I didn't really ask a lot of questions. And my doctor at the time said to me, it's better if you pass it naturally. And I was just like, okay, I don't even know what that means. And he just said, you're going to feel cramps and like, it's going to be, sorry guys, it's going to be like tissue, whatever. And I'm like, okay. So he said, if you, call me in like 4 weeks, basically, and confirm. I'm like, all right. So 4 weeks went by, and like on the 4th week, I had like some pretty heavy bleeding and some cramps, but like I don't know. I was so uncomfortable. I didn't like look or anything. So I called him around the 4th week, and he said, okay, come in. So I made an appointment for the next week, which is like going on 5 weeks, right? And he looks and he's like, oh, you didn't pass it. You're going to get an infection now if I don't get you into like an emergency DNC. And I'm like, wait, what? And so at the time, my husband's traveling for work. I get in 2 days later. And at this point, Nicole, it's like 6.5 weeks that I've just had this like rot. I don't even know what you call it, like rot or whatever. So after all that, it was so traumatizing. I still had to get a DNC. After all that. I mean, I feel like I could have sued this guy also. Like, I feel like I don't know, but
I
it
don't
was,
know what the protocol is for gynecology and stuff. I just see personally what I see in the lab all the time, and what I've always known is that, like, it is better for you to pass it naturally if you
it
can.
is really
Yeah, just because the risk of, because
God.
you're essentially getting, even though the baby has already died, you're getting a procedure that's an abortion, right?
Oh, yeah, no,
To
and you had
remove
to,
it.
oh my God. And that was also what was so traumatizing about it, is that I'm at the hospital by myself and I have to check boxes. They really need to fix this, by the way. Like, you have to check boxes that says you're okay with getting your baby aborted. And I wanted to like write in and be like, no, 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 I'm actually not okay with that. This is actually not my choice. So you're totally right. They have no idea if I'm going in for an abortion or a DNC, which really bothered me. It literally bothered me because I felt like, no one's judging me. I'm clearly judging myself, I guess, but it was just very traumatizing to have to check off the box to say like I'm getting an abortion when I'm not.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just always better. It's the same. It's better to do a vaginal childbirth than to have a C-section. Like, anytime you do a
Yeah.
surgical intervention, there's just going to be more risks associated with it. And abortion, like, people can get, you might not be able to ever have a baby again if you get
Right.
infection or whatever. So but he really should have. I think 4 weeks was a little bit too long for you to wait. And exactly,
about
this
it.
is what happened. Or just say, like, hey, if this doesn't happen, it just has to be a little bit, because when you're 13 weeks, I mean, if you ever see a 13-week fetus, you could see what it looks like. It would fit in the palm of your hand. It's big. You should
Oh.
pass a significant amount of tissue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
Not
just
like
felt,
little drops of blood. It's just,
so it wasn't, and not to be gross to everybody, but it wasn't like little drops. And it hurt. So I just assumed, but it's just, I guess it was more of like the mental load of like, and I'm sure you can relate, obviously not as a female, not a medical professional, but like, you
Yeah.
just want to move on with your life, right? So sitting there waiting and thinking, and then you've got those weird thoughts where you're like, well, because as soon as I'm finished with that doctor's appointment, I'm like, I need a drink. I'm like, I want to go get and I'm like, well, what if the baby's still alive? Like, it's just such a mind F that I just want it to be done. I just want it to be like,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I've never personally experienced it, but I've had a couple friends that have went through similar things, and I'm just like, I don't even know how you mentally deal with the news of that. And then I mean, personally, I'd be like, you're doing this, and I will sign a paper for the risk. Like, I need this out of me
No.
tomorrow, because
Yes, that's
yeah,
what I mean. I was not in a state. I was just so shocked, I think, that I
yeah.
was just, and again, I just didn't know anything. And I just, I'm trusting this doctor. I did not trust him after. I was just, that was very traumatizing, very horrible. But I guess, my whole point was just tying this back to Laken. It's just like, I think that, I don't know, if the baby had died at a certain point in utero, I think, she would have known it. Like, as you said, you could really get some kind of infection. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we could do. That I'm writing about it today on the website, just because I'm going to show
Okay.
like all the different ways at autopsy that what these things look like for us.
Yeah.
And because it's kind of interesting, I mean, it's a shitty situation, but it's a good educational, learning pearls for everyone that's interested. So
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I had tweeted this out. I mean, Laken should hope here that it was this baby was a stillborn, because I don't think a Kentucky jury is going to be very kind to her at all. I mean, I just feel like alleged baby killers, nobody likes an alleged baby killer, and then you've got Kentucky. You're done. You're literally done, in my opinion.
yeah, another thing about Kentucky too, though, that's interesting for this conversation, is that abortion is illegal there.
Yes.
And I'm sure that will get brought up in
Mhm.
her trial at some point, because if she did want to, she wouldn't have had the option to do that in her state.
However, she looks like she has the means
Yeah.
to go to another state to do it. She does. She looks like her, she's,
yeah,
I mean,
of course.
did you see her in court?
Anybody could figure that out at some point
Yes.
if you really wanted to. And
Right.
even this is the thing, because even if she never had intentions of getting one, the defense will bring that up, and
Right.
that might resonate with some people in the jury.
Yes.
So
Yes. No, you're absolutely. And is it now? I have to look this up, but is it completely illegal, or is it illegal after like 13 weeks or 15 weeks or something
I'm
like
not
that?
sure yet because I
Me
didn't look
either.
into that yet. But I just
Okay.
from the articles it said it was illegal, so I don't know, because some states, I think Florida is like after 6 weeks or
6
something,
weeks. Yeah, that's
which
early.
is
Oof,
which is
yeah,
kind of crazy because
crazy.
like
I
who
know.
even knows really?
Who knows I know. I
Yeah.
was just gonna say you don't even know you're pregnant half the time. Like that's so. Yeah. Okay. MJ said in Florida, 6 weeks. God, that's nothing. That's literally
Well,
nothing. Oh my God. Yeah.
and I think the typical urine pregnancy test that most people would take at home, they don't even start showing until like 5 weeks. You can't have a positive.
No, exactly. 4 weeks is like when you're supposed to get your period. So it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, whatever. I just feel like without knowing, I guess, enough, I hear what you're saying about, let's not go all in on her, but it sounds like, yeah, I don't know. And then again, going back to like her high school friends, or not friends, but high school classmates saying she was the biggest bully, this and that. I mean, I'll just, play devil's advocate. Anybody can say anything they want about anybody, right? So, I do want to throw that out there just in case, but I know where my thoughts right now are and my opinions on this are, but I will always keep an open mind, always, right?
Well, especially if she was a bully, the people she was bullying are like extra, like, let me spread everything I know about this woman's life and
Totally.
make her life hell right now. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where I'm just like, okay, like I said, anybody can say anything. If anybody saw my Twitter last week, this is just also like a side note. I don't know. Oh, you like never go on Twitter. I tweeted.
I do. I just
Oh, you
creep
do?
in the background. I don't comment. I just look.
You just creep. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of me on Instagram too. I'm more of like a creeper, but I put up a picture of Kendra Lakari, the catfish mom, right? Who was
Okay.
yeah. And I was like, oh, she's just a regular soccer mom. Like that's a term, soccer mom. You're just a regular whatever mom.
Yeah.
It's Mean Girls, whatever. I mean, the people that they are, I guess during the Karen Reed trial, they think Karen Reed is guilty. When I covered the first trial in detail, they called me a grifter, all sorts of names. I don't know. I woke up to them saying that I was like a piece of shit, that I was like a horrible person because I was throwing shade at Jen McCabe. I was so confused because I said the term regular soccer mom, and I was like, you guys are insane. But the hate kept piling on, which is why I'm saying anybody can say anything about anybody. People are like, wow, Lauren Coleman's a horrible person. How could she throw shade at Jen McCabe? And I'm like, I was texting with Dizzy and I was like, am I missing something?
How could you not?
But I also was just like, I don't what, but I'm like, what does this have to do with Jen McCabe? And then I found out that people were saying like about her, oh, she's just a soccer mom. And I'm like, that's a normal phrase. But I felt like they all owed me an apology and they literally were talking about my kids. Like, what if your kid, I'm just like, wait, what? I was floored. I was just so floored, which is why I was like, wow, people can say whatever they want. People will keep adding to it, not doing any type of research. It was so wild. I was very, yeah.
It's like a really interesting place. I've been seeing a lot of posts about like the Idaho 4 and people saying like F you to Ethan Chapman's mom.
Oh,
and like to the survivors and stuff. And I'm just like, what is happening right now?
Know.
And it's not just one person. It's a lot of people. I see thousands of likes and comments, and I mean, I like to read it because I do like to know in general what other people are thinking and what their ideas are, but also you're just kind of like, why are you so angry about something you're not even involved in? It's just kind of weird.
That's what I don't understand. And you're right. I've seen the hate for the Chapins, and it's so ridiculous. It's gross, actually. It's so gross.
And
Pro burgers.
I was auctioned off at CrimeCon for Ethan Smiles for Stacey Chapman's organization and their family. We did that at the cocktail party right before the Clue Awards.
Yeah.
And just hearing her talk, like I couldn't even believe that she was actually just able to stand up there in front of all those people and even keep herself semi-composed, and I was crying. I was like, you're messing up my mascara right now, and I'm supposed to look cute right now. Like I can look better than this, by the way. I'm gonna kill you
And you look adorable right now. You're beautiful. God.
But yeah, like you're just sitting there, and of course everyone at CrimeCon's like a huge supporter of them because they're involved in the case and they all know what she's been through. And you're just like, these people are just such assholes because, like, if she ever just wants to go on the internet, and what if she accidentally stumbles across that or one of the siblings, or it's so hurtful. It's just so hurtful.
And I'm sure they have, and I don't blame them. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, can't believe they didn't go to sentencing." And I don't blame them. They want to be done with this. They don't want to be in the same room as that effing freak. Okay, like
she's like an inspiration because I sit there and think, like, if that happened to me, like, I feel like I would be in the corner paralyzed. Like, I don't know, like, and she shows like, okay, life can still go on and you could still make something positive out of this. And I mean, holding it in is just not, she has 2 other children to live for. So, and it's cool. And just seeing they raised like just in a half hour, like $9,000 or $10,000 or something crazy. Like, and it goes towards helping other people that are going to be in a situation too. So it's just, I thought it was awesome. It's just to see a woman being that strong, a mom, and you're a mom, and you just know you can't even imagine.
No, totally. And then dealing with psychos on top of that, calling you, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it at all. Life is hard enough as it is, right? Like, we really don't need to add just mean people on top of it. I will never understand.
Their survivors honestly should like legally change their name. And like dye their hair. I'm serious.
I know.
Like,
I know.
How are they ever going to go have a semi-normal life?
Well, I think I take a little bit of solace in the fact that this is our world. Not everybody knows you know what I mean? Like, if my husband takes me to like a work party or something, I'll start talking about this stuff and everyone will be like, huh? And I'm like, oh, right. Not everybody knows every single name of every single victim, every single survivor, every case, right? It's just, it's our world. So there is that. That is one good thing, I guess.
It must be a nice world to live in, honestly. Like, how do you talk about the Idaho thing and it's happened to me too. You talk about it with people at a family party and they're like, no, I didn't hear that. And I'm like, are you living under a rock right now?
I know. Well, that one especially because it's national news. Certain cases I get, but that one I'm just like, okay. But anyway, we've pinned your website. So later today, I feel like your write-up should be complete, right, about Laken.
Tonight it will be, and we have audio with it too. So
cool.
If people don't like to read, I always do an audio because sometimes you just want to be cooking dinner and listen to it or something.
Yep, totally.
Total like cooking material, right?
I love it. All right. Well, we will pin that. I'll put that in the episode notes so you guys can check that out. Nicole, thank you so much. I texted you like 5 minutes ago and I'm like, please come on and talk about this. So thank you so much again.
You're the best. Having me.
Yeah, I miss you so much. Let's go out soon.
Yeah, we have to have dinner soon.
Please. We'll meet in the middle.
Yes. Okay.
All right, cool. Bye. All right, let me just change the banner. I want to go back to something that you guys in the comments told me. Wait, Oasis, I did not know this. Hold on. This makes so much sense now. Oh, wait, hold on. Not that one. Hold on. You said, wait, Nicole, you just came back?
Bye.
Oh, okay, bye. Sorry, bye. Hold on. You said, what did you say? Did I not see you say she called herself a soccer mom on the stand, Jen McCabe, during the second trial? Or did I miss that in the chat? Because that I didn't know because I didn't follow all of trial 2 because I was covering the Diddy trial. So that could be why everybody came at me. Totally missed that. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Dizzy. You're the best about the show links. Yeah, maybe I missed that, but that could be why. I'm telling you guys, I put my phone away early the night before when I tweeted the Kendra Lakari thing. I woke up just to like read how horrible I was and how bad of a person I was and how I was a POS. Oh, Sherry, that was you. Okay. Yeah, I had no idea. And I was like, how does this post have anything to do with Jen McCabe? I was like, also, guys, welcome to my Twitter page. I don't know the last time I posted about Jen McCabe. I don't know the last time I maybe try, like, I don't know. I really, yeah, that was crazy. And that made me so mad. I never get involved in like Twitter drama, but I did have to retweet whatever this person said about me. And I was like, hey, just take a look at this, guys, and let me know how ridiculous this is. Okay, well, thank you for confirming all of that, Sherry and chat. But all right, let's get into let's actually go over the what's going on right now with Keefe D. So if you guys saw, let me find, let's get a nice picture of Keefe D up here. Keefe D will be going to trial for the Red Rum of Tupac officially in February of 2026. So that is finally happening. I mean, they've pushed back this trial a number of times. Let me make this a little smaller. Okay. So Keefe D was involved in a fight last year. And this fight actually resulted in a trial in April. So I completely missed this. But on April 9th, a jury found Dwayne Keefe D. Davis guilty for his role in this jailhouse fight between him and another inmate. And actually, after that conviction, there was an evidentiary hearing ordered by the Clark County judge after Keefe D's defense team claimed there was juror misconduct that took place outside of the courtroom. The jury's impartiality was being questioned, and the defense had filed a new motion for filed a motion for a new trial. They were eventually denied. But the defense maintained that Keefe D acted in self-defense during this jailhouse fight. And so he was just sentenced last week to 16 to 40 months in prison. So, yeah, that I was like, wait, I have not really checked in on Keefe D in a really long time. So that was interesting. And Dizzy and I were looking over his docket. He was supposed to have a hearing this week, but that has since been canceled or postponed. But I have to really think about this here because I really, really want to cover this trial. Vegas is far. And Vegas, Vegas is the desert. And this is in January. So, or I just said February. Sorry, February. So I feel like this would be a long trial, but it would be such a good trial to cover. I mean, many of us have been waiting for somebody to go to trial or to be charged with the death of Tupac. And Keefe D at this point is the only one besides, I guess, Suge, who could really tell us what happened. And I mean, according to Keefe D, he has told us what happened multiple times. But, part of his defense initially and during some of these initial early hearings, he had said, things like, oh, I was just making things up. He basically said he was making stuff up for clout. And but I don't know. I mean, that's crazy. truth to what he's saying. And yes, everybody else in that car, Eric Zip Martin, I'm blanking on the other name now, everybody else has died since. But Keefe D is kind of pulling something very similar to Ghislaine and saying, yeah, I have immunity. There was a proffer agreement and I should have never been charged in the first place. But authorities are like, you actually broke the proffer by yapping about this and making money off of this, with a book and going on Vlad TV and this and that. And yeah, I mean, so Gary, Keefe D in basically, I think it was in 2023, the prosecution released some kind of filing where Diddy's name was mentioned like 70 times. And according to Keefe D, he had said that he and Eric Zip Martin were at some party, and allegedly Diddy had said, I'll pay $1 million for Tupac's head or something, not his head, but something like that. And then also they wanted those medallions, I guess. So then, I mean, according to Keefe D, they said, okay, him and Eric Zip Martin were like, we'll do it. But nobody knows if they were ever paid. No one really knows anything about that. So, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like, yeah, his defense is going to hinge on, I was lying for clout, and I should have immunity on this. And yeah, he actually has said that he passed so-and-so the gun. I think it was his nephew. So he said he passed him the gun on a bunch of different interviews that I've seen. But I mean, he looks bad right now, Keefe D. I know that he's like 65 years old. He's got some health issues. I think he has cancer. And yeah, he's already now serving another sentence, right? Or he's going to be serving a sentence of 40 months maximum for this fight. So yeah, things are not looking good for him at all. And he's tried to get out a few different times. And he was actually called out because I think that the judge had accused him of still trying to make money and profit off of Tupac's death. And that was how he was going to pay his bond. So it's all very, very weird, very, very weird. But we'll keep an eye on that and that docket for sure. I'm very interested in that case. And I want justice for Tupac. I really like Tupac. So I'm sad. And I did a bunch of videos last summer on this because I feel like last summer was when he had a lot of hearings. I think he had like 3 last summer. So I should go back and sort of repost some of those. But let's also discuss, really quick, just speaking of some hearings, I had mentioned there are some hearings this week in my little trailer, I guess, on X this morning for this live stream. There was supposed to be a hearing in federal court for the Alexander brothers, the federal trafficking case, but that has been postponed for now. So there won't be a hearing for that this week. And actually, what's really interesting with the Alexander brothers case is that they have added Tenny Garagos and Mark Agnifilo to their team. So this is a really big deal here because I feel like what's happening, in my opinion, and without knowing a ton about the Alexander brothers case, I know, what I've seen in court documents and the things that I've read online, but it seems like the government is targeting very powerful men and charging them with these trafficking crimes like they are cartel members, and they want to sentence them like they are these cartel members. And I think that with Tenny Garagos and Mark Agnifilo and what they were able to do for Sean Combs, I think it was really smart that the Alexander brothers hired them and brought them onto their team because they really seemed to just dismantle the trafficking allegations when it came to Sean Combs. So I'm thinking that's what they're going to do, little by little, piece by piece, just dismantle all of these allegations from, the victims victim 1 and victim 2 that made these allegations. So I do feel like the Alexander brothers, they were like, yes, we need these attorneys, and they will just spare no cost. So I'll keep an eye on that case, of course. And then I had also mentioned that the sadistic sugar daddy is due back in court tomorrow. That's Ryan Hemphill. And that case is wild. Ryan Hemphill, I did a video on that case. I think I did it like last month because he had a hearing last month. He is the sadistic sugar daddy charged with 118 different counts of sexual violence and torture. And the DA believes there are still more women out there that should come forward. But I think if you guys saw this video, I read part of the transcript from the last hearing on it, and it's very, very bad. But his defense team, he's using legal aid. So I think they're going to determine whether or not he is eligible to use legal aid. Because when I say sadistic sugar daddy, he kind of acted like he had all this money. He is an attorney. He worked in finance. And, he shouldn't be using legal aid. Also, his family has money. So I'm not sure. I think they're going to determine that tomorrow at the hearing. And then also his defense is that he should be in Bellevue, basically. He shouldn't be at Rikers. He has substance abuse problems, and Rikers is just not a place for him. I don't necessarily agree with that from everything that I've heard and seen about this case. And also somebody came to me, a source, and said, no, I went to college with this guy and this all checks out. So again, innocent until proven guilty, but it's a very concerning case. And I hope that this guy stays where he is in Rikers, and he's not out at all before his trial, because this is the type of guy that is very terrifying, right? Like a white guy, seemingly, well-dressed, lawyer, finance, has a nice apartment overlooking the Empire State Building. And he is a monster. He is like Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. So I'm going to be going to that hearing tomorrow at Manhattan Criminal Court. So look out for my coverage there. I feel like, again, these cases take a while to go to trial, but I'm hoping they get there hopefully by the spring, because this guy needs, if this is true, this guy really needs to be locked away. It's so concerning and so creepy. But I wanted to discuss the Burning Man homicide as well, because that's crazy. And I feel like nobody is really talking about the Burning Man homicide. So let me go to some of the notes that I had typed up. So I don't know if it's because, this guy is Russian, but his name was Vadim Krugloff, and he was found dead last weekend at the Burning Man Festival in Nevada's Black Rock Desert. And I have never been to Burning Man. I don't know if any of you guys have, but there are a lot of drugs that people do at Burning Man. Generally, it's known for being a somewhat peaceful place because people just want to do the drugs like ayahuasca or the drugs that sort of make you mushrooms, trip out. What do you call it? What's the word? Let me see. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm having a brain fart. Hallucinate. Thank you. They're hallucinogenics. You were wondering if the Burning Man homicide was true or not. Yeah, no, it's true. It's weird. And it's kind of scary to think about that there's a killer running around somewhere. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more than one, but we know in particular, thank you. Everybody could say hallucinate except for me. Yes, psychedelics, hallucinogenics. But yeah, those type of drugs generally run rampant at Burning Man. A lot of tech CEOs go there. They want to get new ideas. They want to, come up with new products. So this is where they go, and this is what they do. So if I had to guess, I would guess that the person that did this to Vadim is or was on drugs. That's what I would guess. However, I don't know, but it was last Saturday, and apparently his throat had been slashed, and authorities recovered a knife at the scene, which again, I would think based on this evidence that the killer was not an experienced killer. If you're leaving a red rum weapon at the scene, I would say, okay, perhaps you, again, were on drugs. You did this because you were hallucinating. I don't know. I mean, also, Burning Man's been going on for a long time. I'm also surprised that nothing like this has happened before, if it was somebody hallucinating or on drugs that did this. So yeah, so apparently Vadim was found in a pool of his own blood, and there was a woman who flagged people down, basically saying that, this is what I found. This is, someone needs to come quick. So one of Vadim's friends, though, and this is prior to him being identified, they put out an urgent missing persons alert saying that she lost track of him at the festival and hadn't heard from him in 4 days. So eventually his identity was confirmed later by the Washoe Medical Examiner's Office, who ruled his death a homicide. And again, officials are saying this is the result of a singular crime. It's under investigation, and they don't have any suspects yet. So it's concerning. There have been grapes reported at Burning Man. There have been ODs. There have been assaults, but there hasn't been a red rum. So yeah, it's definitely scary. And I don't know why more people aren't discussing this or are talking about it, because it's unsolved, and that's why I personally think it makes things really, really scary. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're testing the knife for DNA, for fingerprints, but again, if somebody's not a career criminal or in the database, it's going to be tough to find that person. And I have a feeling that this wasn't some kind of career criminal here. So who knows? I hope that they can move things along and catch the person that did this. There is a GoFundMe, I believe, to get his body back to his family. So sad. I know his dad has been speaking out, Vadim's dad, in the media, but it's very tragic, very, very scary. And that's why these festivals scare the crap out of me. But yes, and sorry, pivoting. Pivoting right now. Like, notify, subscribe, share, everything, all of the things for this live stream. I know that it's been a while since I've done them, a live stream, but hopefully I'll get around to doing these at least once a week, because I love hanging out with everybody. I love discussing some of these cases that kind of fly under the radar, so to speak. But, and also, like I said, I'm very interested and fascinated by the Laken Snelling case, because I just, I want to know what happened, and I want to know if we have this narrative right, because as I mentioned with Nicole, people can create a narrative. We can create a narrative, but we don't actually know if it's true or not. So, and what was this? This is what I'm just reading this. You don't love Pac if you support guys like Turtle Boy, are you saying? Is that what you're saying? TB crying about how his civil rights are being violated after spending, I don't know much about him smearing BLM activists. I guess I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know everything. I don't follow everything, so I'm sorry. You took shrooms once. Yeah, I know. Shrooms are crazy. They are so crazy. And I just don't, again, I don't know much about these hallucinogenic drugs, but I just feel like, yeah, things could happen. You never know. You never know. But I feel horrible for this guy, Vadim's family. It's awful, especially if you kind of feel like your case is not being taken seriously. And I'm not saying that is a thing. But I did just notice there's not a lot of media coverage. And as well as the Ukrainian girl in North Carolina. That's so crazy. That video was going around on Twitter where she was on a bus or whatever with her AirPods in, and a dude behind her just came around, and I oh my gosh, that gave me nightmares. But I haven't seen a lot of coverage from the mainstream media on that either. So that's just, it's scary. It's so scary. This world is horrible sometimes, which is why I wanted to play Cardi B videos, because she makes it better. She makes it so much better. And yes, right, Oasis, it was awful. Just like knowing what was about to happen. We all knew what was about to happen. And actually, when I saw the video, I didn't know if she lived or died. So I was kind of like, oh, maybe she lived. I had this like hope, like, oh gosh, maybe she lived. And then I saw and she didn't. So anyway. Well, let me know if you guys have anything else right now. I got to get back to work on the I'm calling the podcast, the research I'm doing on those cases, the Brooklyn drownings, I'm calling it Midnight Currents, the Brooklyn nightclub drownings. So I'm going to be working on that. Like I said, hopefully we can get this made into a documentary, and you can all watch it on your television screens at some point in the near future. I'm really hoping and praying. So, yes, Maytal, thank you so much. And guys, tomorrow, look out for my coverage on the Sadistic sugar daddy hearing, because he needs to stay put. And I don't think he should be going to Bellevue. Sorry, I don't. I think he needs to stay at Rikers. So, and yes, thank you, Dizzy. Yeah, I know it did fly by. It's been an hour and 20 minutes, but it's been really fun. I'm happy to see you all. Really happy to see you all. So, okay, guys, I will, I'll let you know if I have any other live streams this week, but keep your eyes peeled for my new podcast coming out. Hopefully, again, like I said, we'll have a trailer this week, and I'll probably do one or two other episodes based on, some cases we've discussed. So, all right, thanks everyone. Bye, I'll see you later.